my guiding, I explain to understand about the cause and effect and existence of physical nature and mental nature. Generally, we can understand there is no I, mind, but just physical nature and mental nature, Dhamma and Rupa. That means I, mind is not existing. Dhamma and Rupa is truly existing. Dhamma means mental nature, Rupa means physical nature. To stop the wrong view of the existence of I, mind, and we try to accept the existence of physical nature and mental nature. But more analyzing, more deeply understanding, how long do these physical nature and mental nature existing? Do you know about the physical nature? What are the physical nature? Four elements: fire, water, wind, earth. This is basic elements, basic physical nature. Light, sound, smell, taste, nutriments, they are also physical nature. Although we talk about the physical nature as existent, but you think sound is existing in some way. That is not correct. Fire is existing in the fire lighter. That is also wrong view. They are not existing in some way. But these physical nature will arise only when the contact or condition became happening. For example, our cells are, physical nature, body cell. Generally, we consider they are existing. But they are not existing as the same one, the same thing. They are renewing or changing or disappearing from moment to moment, depending on the supporting of maybe nutriments. If nutriments stops, our body cell cannot continue, cannot arise. So that means our body cell are just the conditional result of nutriments. If the nutriments stop, the body cell, that is physical nature, will become stop. So that means they are not existing as the same one or permanent one, but they are renewing and disappearing depending on corresponding causes, condition. For example, I lit the fire, the light, the fire energy will be arising or existing. But that existing is depending on the supporting of the fuel. If fuel becomes stop, the lighting or fire energy becomes stop. So generally, the existence we understand is just a continuous change or renewing process or disappearing process of physical and mental nature. So what I mean is physical nature and mental nature are not existing as the same one, as the same thing along the timeline. They are renewing or disappearing from moment to moment, depending on corresponding causes or condition. So if you can understand these cause and condition and their result. In the right way, we can understand about the impermanent nature. Currently, the impermanent nature that we can understand is something is existing for some days, some years. After that, it will be impermanent. It will be gone. For example, it will see the expiry date. Before the expiry date, it will be existing as the same one, as the same thing. Only when the expiry date comes, we think that's why, that is like that. So what I mean is, even the physical nature and mental nature should not be considered as an existence for some period. Their existence is just a split moment, arising and ceasing, arising and ceasing. But they are arising and disappearing, and their replacement is very close, very subtle, very smooth. So we think physical nature or mental nature as existent for some period. Can you understand? Generally, we try to directly stop about the result. For example, anger will come out. Generally, we understand anger is not good, so we try to stop the anger. Anger is like the fire; it is hot. But how do you say? If we do not understand the causes of the anger in the right way, we cannot stop the anger. For example, I will switch on the light. The light is just the result of the electricity. Maybe if you want to stop the light, stop the electricity. But if you break the electric bulb, it is not the correct way. How to say? If you do not stop the current, and then you try to stop directly, and you try to break the electric bulb, for the short time, the light became off. But maybe someone put again the electric bulb, and the light will come out. So also about the meditation practice, we try to stop directly about the frustration, sadness, anger, thought. But we do not understand about their origin. So what is the origin of mental state? We should understand the origin of physical nature and mental nature. I think you already understand the origin of physical nature are four causes: karma, chitta, uru, ahara. So, if, for example, if you want to kill someone, and no need to directly kill him, and if you do not give the food, that means you are stopping the nutriments to him. Maybe if you stop the nutriments to him, that is trying to stop the causes. So after shortage their food, nutrients, he became dead. So the causes of physical nature are nutriments, karma, chitta, and uru. So that is, you already understood, right? But we should understand the causes of mental nature. We try to stop the thought, thinking. We try to stop the emotion. We try to stop the sadness. We try to stop the anger. And maybe you feel angry, you feel frustration, you try to meditate. At the meditation time for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe negative mind dissolve, disappear. But maybe some days later, after some days later, they come again. Why they come again? What?
Conditions are similar.
Condition. So what is the condition of mental nature? That is learning about dependent origination. Dependent origination is briefly explanation about all mental nature continue, can renew, can arise again and again, without the soul, without the self. So the main causes of mental nature is ignorance, delusion, and attachment. So these two are origin of mental nature. As long as the wrong view or ignorance and attachment happening, the mental nature will never end. Even the wrong view, even the attachment also conditional nature. That means the previous ignorance can condition the new ignorance to arise like that. The previous attachment can condition the similar attachment to arise. So the main intention of the practice is to stop the main causes of mental nature. That is ignorance and attachment. That means wrong view and attachment. So how we can stop the wrong view, ignorance and attachment? Yeah? To stop the ignorance, we need to arise the wisdom or insight. So, just now I guide the meditation, mindfulness, right understanding, and detachment is to develop in the meditation practice. So, that means Noble Eightfold Path, development of Noble Eightfold Path. In brief, mindfulness, right understanding, detachment are the factors to stop the ignorance and attachment, wrong view and attachment. So, so we learn meditation. That means we discuss the Dhamma. So that is to have the right view. The more right view, the less wrong view, the less ignorance. The more mindfulness, the less defilements. The mindfulness, concentration are powerful for temporary stopping about the ignorance and attachment. You cannot stop permanently about the wrong view and attachment. So we need to learn vipassana or insight meditation. So in the a lot of teacher guide us to learn vipassana because vipassana emphasize about the wisdom or insights to arise. Mindfulness and concentration alone cannot stop the ignorance or wrong view. Only the wisdom or insight can stop the ignorance. So we try to understand what is wisdom, what is insight, what is right view, what is right understanding. And that is just a synonym. In Pali is we call panya, samadhi. But in translation, a right view, right understanding, a wisdom, insight. That is synonym. To stop the ignorance, to stop the wrong view of I mind, first we should understand the first level of wisdom. That is, there is only physical nature and mental nature. There is no self, soul entity. This is a first level of right understanding, wisdom, to stop the ignorance. Ignorance, do you know the ignorance? What is ignorance? Not knowing. Ignorance means. Yes, ignorance, that's true, that's mean. Ignorance means not knowing, right? And not knowing about the creator truths and original truths. Not knowing about the Four Noble Truths. Not knowing about the physical nature and mental nature in the right way. So that means ignorance means not knowing the creator truth and original truth in the right way. So we need to learn what is creator truth and what is original truth. Because by understanding creator truth and original truth in the right way, that becomes wisdom or insight. So it will stop the ignorance and wrong view of self, I, mind, and existence. So first we will try to understand there is no I, mind, or individual, but only physical nature and mental nature. But some people can understand there is no I, mind, but consider physical nature as an existence for some periods, some years. That is also not complete understanding, not correct understanding. Generally, we can understand the attachment is not good. We try to stop the attachment. Why attachment can arise? Can happen. Why? What is the cause of attachment? Just now, the origin of suffering, the origin of physical nature and mental nature is ignorance and attachment. What is the main cause? Ignorance and attachment. Ignorance is main cause. Main cause. Depending on the ignorance, attachment will arise. So that means if we can stop the ignorance ignorance, the attachment also becomes less and less. They are also depending on each other. Ignorance can cause attachment. The more attachment, the more ignorance. So some people do not learn meditation, do not give time for learning Dhamma. So they become ignorant about the Dhamma. Why? Maybe if you ask someone to learn meditation, to practice meditation, they will give you an excuse. I was not free. Maybe I will do something. So that I will do something means he has the attachment for it. So the more attachment for others doing, he cannot give the time for learning Dhamma. So that means the more attachment, the more ignorance. The more ignorance, the more attachment. According to the literature, if you can stop, although you can stop the ignorance, you stay trying to stop the attachment because it has the momentum. You know momentum? Momentum. The Buddha one Sayadaw gave the example. How to say? Some young people addict about the heroin or using the drugs. Maybe after they learn an education, drugs are not good, heroin are not good. But he can understand drugs are should to be stopped, should to be abandoned. But how to say? Although he can understand drugs are not good, heroin are not good, he cannot stop the attachment easily. He need effort or strong effort to stop the using the drugs. So also even we can understand about what is Dhamma, what is physical nature, mental nature, and we need to strong effort to stop the attachment. So first level of wisdom is understanding physical nature and mental nature as existence. The others are not real existence. That is talking about the conditional nature. For the unconditional nature, the nirvana nature is real existence. But now we cannot directly realize about the nirvana nature, so we will talk about the conditional nature. If you talk about the conditional nature, something, someone, soul self are not real existent. Only physical nature and mental nature are existent. But in next step, if you consider physical nature and mental nature are existing for some period, for some hours, some years later, some years, that is not correct. So next step is we need to understand about the causes of physical nature and mental nature. By understanding the causes and their result, we understand the result can happen only when the causes are conditioning. When the causes become stopped, the result cannot existing. So that means results are not existing as the same one, as the same thing along the timeline. They are renewing and happening depending on their corresponding causes. Can you understand? So that means any physical nature, mental nature, not existing in some way, but they are arising depending on corresponding causes.
I have a question about the physical nature that you were talking about. So, you said there are 4 conditions
Yes.
for physical nature to arise: is the temperature, nutriment, and karma, and chitta. Yeah.
Yes.
But we have other things in the nature which are not having karma and chitta. A tree doesn't have karma and chitta, nature, so how...
Or like the trees. Trees.
Yeah, for example.
Yes. Yes.
So not everything has
Not.
4 conditions.
Yes. Only that is for living things. Living things means individual. Living beings. Living beings. For the living things has 4 conditions. And now non-living things has only 1 or 2 conditions: temperature and nutriments. For the trees, temperature and nutriments will be there.
So when you talk about the 4, you don't worry about living beings.
Living beings. Living being means from the view of Buddha teaching, and not from biology. From the view of botany, they also consider the tree is living things.
What?
In biology, in some religion, consider the tree is also living things. Living things. Living things means they will have the soul. You describe the trees, they will feel suffer. And that means they consider the tree has the soul. And that is the other views. In Buddha teaching, there is no soul, no self. There is only the physical nature and mental nature. The so-called living thing means just a combination of physical nature and mental nature. The so-called human is just a combination of physical nature and mental nature. We call 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates. The tree is not a combination of physical nature and mental nature, only physical nature, physical process. In some also can it's just a joke. They complain. Some trees have I don't know the English name. Some trees are, if you touch the clothes like that. So they know the touching. So they consider some trees also can trap the insects. Can trap and they eat. So they consider they have the soul, they have the sensation, feeling about the touching. But according to the Buddha teaching, trees are just only 1 aggregate. 1 aggregate means just physical process. They do not inclusive 4 mental states: feeling, perception, judging, consciousness. The so-called human dogs, maybe a tiger, a lion, they have the combination of 5 aggregates: physical nature and mental nature. But exception, some Brahma stage, some Brahma have only physical nature.
Only physical, no mind.
No mind. But some Brahma has only mental nature. And some Brahma have both physical nature and mental nature. But they will have their lifespan.
They will have?
Their lifespan.
How do you spell?
Lifespan. Duration. Period. If their lifespan, their life periods ends, and physical nature and mental nature arise. Do you know about it?
No.
You.
I heard about only physical problems.
Physical Brahma.
Mental problems,
Yes.
physical problems.
Brahma's being can arise depending on the higher jhana state, concentration state. Some meditators have the highest absorption or concentration. Maybe that meditator nearly dead, but they understand about the deficiency of physical nature, the disadvantages of the physical nature. Maybe their desire is not wanting about the physical nature. So for that moment, their mind has deep concentration. So that concentrated mind becomes karma, and that karma can produce the rebirth. But that rebirth is they do not want the physical nature. So their rebirth is not inclusive the physical nature. Only mental nature will arise in this existence. So like that. And some meditators have the deep absorption, deep concentration. And for them, at the dying moment, they can understand the suffering of mental nature, the disadvantages of mental nature. So they don't want, their desire, don't want about the mental nature to arise. For that situation, their desire, their volition become karma and it will condition and produce the rebirth. But their rebirth is not inclusive the mental nature, only physical nature. But their karma, their absorption is also not forever. They have the intensity. Their intensity finished, their result also began finished. So that means their lifespan of Brahma also began finished. And then they can be reborn as human or animals or others. So what I mean is, second step of wisdom is to understand the causes of physical nature and mental nature. So is physical nature is I or mental nature is I? Is physical nature is self or mental nature is self?
Believing in your mental nature creates an idea of self.
Sorry?
That is not. Believing in the idea of yourself or the idea of your experience, whether it be mental or physical, creates an idea of I.
Idea of I,
But in
mind.
the ultimate truth, it's not.
Yes. So the idea of I mind means you have the complete control of them. Maybe this car is mine, this phone is mine, so I have the control of them. In fact, any physical nature, mental nature are happening depending on corresponding causes. If the causes support, it will arise. If the causes cannot support, it cannot arise. So that means they are not under control of someone's desire. They are arising and ceasing depending on corresponding causes. Causes are also impermanent, so the results are also impermanent. They are not existing forever for any conditional nature. So we should understand any conditional nature has causes to arise. Causes are impermanent, so their results are impermanent too. So that is second wisdom. Only when you can understand the cause and effect, cause and result in the right way, you can understand the third level of understanding is understanding about nature, impermanence. Impermanence is happening at the right now, at the right place. Not only after some years, sometime later. So that is three wisdom. One is understanding about Dhamma and Rupa, physical nature and mental nature. Second level of understanding is understanding of the causes of physical nature and mental nature. That means understanding about cause and effect. Any effect is impermanent because their corresponding causes are impermanent. So if you can understand in second level of wisdom, the third level of understanding is understanding about nature, impermanence. Impermanence is happening right now, right place. Not only after the some time later, some years later. But from the view of created truth, you can see it will destroy, it will finish some years later. For example, meditation time will be finished, will be end only after 1 hour and 30 minutes. But from the view of original truth, every moment of sound arising, appearing and disappearing, hearing, knowing, thinking, any physical and mental arising are impermanent at every present moment. They are not disappearing only after some period. So these three levels of wisdom will be helpful to stop the ignorance and attachment that are origin of suffering or origin of mental nature.
Arising and disappearing of things, the nature of not just of mental things but of physical things. That's to do with the causes and the arising and disappearing and permanent nature of all causes that create the physical things. And this is how it is that they are arising and disappearing, because those causes are also happening in that same fashion.
Yes. For example, the light will be existing. The light is result of the electricity. Electricity is causes. Causes is supporting constantly. So the light arising is also happening constantly. Maybe sometimes the electricity in low voltage, maybe supporting is not constant. Maybe they will have the leakage or blank places. So this become the result cannot be arising constantly. flickering. That means appear and then disappearing, or not cannot arising for some period, so we see the flickering. In fact, sickness or disease are also like that. Now, our nutriments or temperature or karma are supporting constantly. Very well, we become healthy. Maybe nutriments cannot support very well, temperature cannot support very well, karma cannot support very well, mind cannot support very well, or physical nature can spoil, can be diseased. That means their arising cannot be constant. We call that is disease, that is sickness. Maybe if no more question, we'll stop. Maybe later you can think again, because instantly you cannot have the question. So we will share our merits. May all beings rejoice and get our merits. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings be free from all kinds of suffering. Sadhu, sadhu.